The weather forecast warns of record-breaking hurricane-force winds that are going to hit the town. Lauren, a schoolteacher, is sleeping in her home when a loud crashing sound wakes her. A giant tree has fallen and damaged a part of her house. Fearing it might happen again, Lauren wears her jacket, picks up the emergency kit she had prepared just in case, and along with her dog, Dancer, makes her way to her car. It is raining. She feels staying there might prove to be dangerous. She decides to drive to Paige's home as she has a basement where they can take shelter. As she is reversing her car, the rear tires run over something before getting stuck. She gets out to see a big branch of a fallen tree hindering the vehicle from moving forward. She is still outside her car with the door open when there is a rumble of thunder, and Dancer gets out of the car and runs into the dark. Lauren tries to run after her scared pooch but soon loses it in the woods. She doesn't want to leave her companion out on such a stormy night as it can be dangerous. She looks up and prays to the Lord for some help. At that very moment, her neighbor Colin comes with Dancer. He caught hold of the dog as it was running away. She is surprised to see him and asks what he is doing out in the storm. He reveals he was moving too, but an old oak tree fell across the road, blocking it, so he can't get out now. Lauren thanks him for saving her dog. As she starts leaving, Colin asks her where she is going because there is no way they can get out. All the roads are blocked because of the fallen trees. She tells him her car got stuck and she is going to wait in the barn till the hurricane passes. He agrees it is a good idea and says he will be coming too. Once they reach the barn, their usual banter starts. Colin makes a comment about her waiting a little too long to evacuate. Lauren retorts that the same can be said for him since he is stuck with them instead of someplace safe. They hear the live broadcast of the hurricane on the radio. According to the telecast, the worst is yet to come, and the evacuation process has been stopped. Everybody is advised to take shelter wherever they are. That means spending the night stuck in a barn with a neighbor on whom she had a little crush. Lauren and Colin are a bit awkward around each other. She offers him her father's clothes to dry off. He is hesitant because she is already letting him stay with her, but she insists. She tells him she has an extra pair of clothes for her too. Colin suddenly blurts out she'll look good in anything she wears, soon realizing he said his thoughts out loud. Nothing can be more embarrassing, and he tries to make himself disappear behind the door before he embarrasses himself anymore. Lauren thinks of her sheer luck to be stuck with him out of all the guys in the town. In a flashback to 5 years ago, Colin and Lauren are enjoying a fair. They are paired up as a team and are enjoying various fun activities, tumbling and laughing. Even though they didn't win this game, they are having a good time. Colin asks Lauren to be his partner for the next event, the wheelbarrow race. Their friends can sense a vibe between them and are rooting for them. Colin brings Lauren lemonade, which is her favorite. She is surprised that he knows. Of course, he knows. They have attended many birthday parties together in their childhood. Lauren had a fun time together and took this opportunity to ask him out for a coffee or a movie, whichever he preferred next week. Colin's face gets serious, and he hesitates a bit before speaking. He finally declines her offer. Lauren doesn't know what to do in this situation. Everything seemed fun, and things were going well. She gets up and leaves. Colin apologizes to her, saying he's doing her a favor. Except for the equation between them, nothing changed, and the fair went on. Back in the present, amidst the thunderstorm, Colin and Lauren are taking shelter in Lauren's barn. They have changed into dry clothes and are ready to hit the bed. Colin asks Lauren to take the bed while he sleeps in the corner. Lauren insists he sleeps on the bed since he is the guest. Colin has already asked too much of her, and he cannot allow himself to take over her comfort, specifically knowing Lauren doesn't like him very much. Lauren reminds him that he made the bed and hence he should sleep on it. Colin diverts the conversation and says he remembers being in the barn at one of her birthday parties, hiding behind the bed during one of the hide-and-seek games. It took him a couple of hours to realize no one was going to find him. He was worried he would miss out on all the cake and ice cream, so he had to walk out on his own, and in the end, he got to eat the cake. Since they are reminiscing about such events, Lauren also adds that she remembers running into Colin in one of the picnics about 5 years ago. Her indication was towards the day she asked Colin out for coffee. Colin defends himself, saying if they dated, people might have talked about Lauren because she was a school teacher. Hearing his explanation irritated Lauren because she genuinely liked Colin and wouldn't have cared about what the people had to say. Colin apologizes yet again, but Lauren is not in the mood to listen, and sleeps on the bed without saying anything. The following day, the extent of damage done by the hurricane can be seen. Lauren and Colin come out of the barn, and Lauren can't believe her eyes. Her whole house is wrecked. The house her parents built, where she grew up, is all gone. The wall on which her dad used to measure her height as she grew taller is now no longer there. Lauren cannot help her tears as she sees the house of her memories crumbled down. Colin tries to provide his support. He says not all things are destroyed and can be saved before mold sets in them. Lauren stares at her ravaged house for some time, thinking hard. She has made up her mind. She is going to rebuild her home herself. She has confidence in herself that she can do it because she has seen her parents fix everything in the house since childhood. In fact, she built the barn that kept them safe during the hurricane with her father. Plus, she has watched hundreds of renovating shows. Colin warns her it is going to be a lot of work, but he can help her if she wants. Lauren says it is rewarding work even though it is a lot of work. and she can put in more time as it is summer and she has time before school starts. She has had an image of how she wanted her house to be, and now that she has the opportunity, she can build it exactly how she wants. She starts feeling good about it and looks at it as a sign. Colin is curious to know what she means by that. Lauren tells him that she has been feeling a little down lately, so this is a good chance for her to rebuild herself as she rebuilds her home. Colin asks her how she wants to start. Lauren is a strong woman. She tells him she'll begin by stopping herself from feeling sorry, because there are many others who have it worse than she does. Colin agrees as he was thinking the same. He is planning to go to the town to assess the damage, checking everybody if they need help. Lauren wants to help too. They both get into Colin's car and make their way to the town. Lauren feels guilty for bringing up the past last night and apologizes to Colin. He apologizes for the day at the fair but adds that she did dodge a bullet with him. He prefers being single and to date, has remained true to his preference. He asks Lauren if she is dating anybody. She tells him about her boyfriend Dane, who is kind of her fiancé. Colin wants to know what a kind of fiancé means. But before she can answer, they spot a police car on the side of the road. It is Frida. She greets them both. Lauren asks Frida how she and Hector are doing. Frida says they are fine, but the same cannot be said about Mayor Wallace. He had a heart attack when he was checking on some people, and a tree suddenly fell on the bonnet of his car. He couldn't make it. Frida continues by saying there has never been a storm like this recorded in the county's history, and they hope there are no more casualties. Lauren and Colin are shocked to hear the extent of loss the hurricane has brought upon them. The air is somber. Frida bids goodbye to Colin and Lauren, and asks them to drive safely as the roads are in bad shape. They reach the relief camp. Colin calls his brother Sutter to let him know that he is okay. His mom is also worried. She asks Sutter how Colin is doing. Sutter assures her that her son is doing fine. Sutter asks about their house. Colin isn't sure, as he hasn't checked on it yet. He tells Sutter that he spent the night at Lauren's barn. Sutter is surprised and asks him to explain. Colin tells him what happened and that Lauren's house got obliterated. Sutter teases Colin that it is good he took care of her. Colin tells him it is the other way around, and Lauren is the one who took care of him and kept him safe and dry during the storm. Sutter is curious about how Colin ended up in her place. Colin has a property next to Lauren's, but he never went there, so that aroused suspicion in Sutter's mind. Colin tells him a short version of what happened and soon hangs up as he is using a landline, which is the only working line, and there are other people waiting for their turn to call and check on their loved ones. Before hanging up, Sutter asks Colin if Lauren is still as good-looking as he remembers. Colin cannot help blushing as he tells his brother she is even more beautiful now. Sutter lets out a chuckle and asks him to be good to her. He walks to Lauren, who is talking to one of the other residents of the town. Colin asks how they are doing. Lauren tells him the road to their barn was washed entirely off, but thankfully they got all the animals out on time. Colin lets Lauren know that his offer to help her build her house still stands, and he makes it clear it is not because he thinks she needs a man's help but because of his profession. He is a very skillful carpenter. She thanks him for his consideration but refuses to take his help. She lets him know that she is going to call her fiancé as the phone is free. Colin is disappointed but doesn't say anything. Lauren calls Dane. Dane sounds worried but also tells her his assistant has been trying to contact her for hours. Lauren assures him she is doing okay, but her house got destroyed in the storm. Dane suggests she move into his Manhattan condo while he's still closing a deal, and once he's done, he'll join her there. Lauren is amazed that Dane has asked her to leave at a time like this. She says she can't because the community needs every single one of them there to help those in need. Dane explains that he just wants her to be safe. Lauren thanks him for the offer, but tells him she is going to stay in her town and rebuild her family home herself. Dane, as oblivious as he can be, offers to find her the best crew to rebuild her house. Lauren tries to deny, but Dane doesn't listen and keeps talking over her. Now, much irritated, Lauren raises her voice a little to sound assertive, and tells Dane he has zero listening skills. Her grandparents had built that home, and now she is going to do the same. Dane tries to dissuade her by saying she is just a school teacher, and won't be able to build a house by herself. Having had enough of Dane's condescending behavior, she retorts that she knows it takes a team to rebuild a home, but a team starts with her before hanging up. The road cleaning and clearing responsibilities are being allocated to the volunteers. But Colin believes finding people who need help should be the priority at that moment. But Nathan, who is carrying forward the responsibilities after Mayor Wallace's demise, disagrees. He says that FEMA, also known as Federal Emergency Management Agency, wants the roads to be clear for medicine, water, and food supplies. There is a slight discord between Nathan and Colin because the FEMA is not going to be there for several days. So rescuing people in urgent need is the most plausible thing to do. Colin finally says that they should keep their egos from clashing, and instead, form search parties to rescue people who can be without clean water or food, or are injured. The other volunteers start agreeing with Colin. Lauren, too, is surprised to see how concerned Colin is for the people of his town. She is seeing a new side of him in this hour of need. Nathan tries to talk the volunteers out of Colin's suggestion by saying there are firefighters conducting the rescue operation. Upon questioning, Nathan says 5 firefighters are doing the job. They are not enough to cover the entire ground, so Colin suggests they can help the firefighters in rescuing. They can split the firefighters and assign some volunteers to each fireman to help search the entire town in a day. Nathan finally agrees, and the pastor takes over from there to say a prayer for their beloved mayor. As Colin leaves with the volunteers, Lauren cannot help but notice him. She can feel the flicker of warmth igniting in her for Colin. Soon she meets her friend Paige. They both embrace each other, relieved that they are fine. Lauren tells Paige she tried coming to her last night but got stuck. Lauren then asks if she and Mark are doing fine. They are, except they lost their porch in the shed. Lauren doesn't share her house being destroyed because she feels there might be others who have it worse than them. Paige had noticed how Lauren was waving at Colin before he left with the rescue team. She asks Lauren when she stopped hating Colin for what he did to her. Lauren denies ever hating him, but Paige knows her friend and the time she has said she hated Colin. Lauren finally tells Paige that Colin had spent the night in the barn with her. This is enough to get Paige excited, and she demands to know everything. Lauren assures her nothing happened except they came to know about each other a little better. Paige is not satisfied with such little information, so she suggests they help with the potluck, and there Lauren can tell her everything that happened. Mr. Rodriguez has fallen off his wheelchair. He tries very hard to reach his phone, and finally, when he does, the phone's battery dies. Now completely helpless, he cries for help. A glimmer of hope shines on his face when he hears Colin's voice. He tells them his condition, and Colin assures him that he is with the rescue team and they will get him out soon. With that, the rescue team starts clearing up the debris from the front of Mr. Rodriguez's house to make a way in. Mr. Rodriguez finally sighs with relief and blesses them. He can't help his tears because he has been stuck like this for hours, and now finally, the help has arrived. Lauren is serving food while the kids play with Dancer. She looks at Colin, who is also serving corn, at a distance. Paige teases Lauren saying her boyfriend is a hero. Not falling for her bait, Lauren rebuts that her boyfriend is in Australia. Paige immediately adds, her new boyfriend. Lauren defends herself by saying she is an engaged woman. Well, engaged once she accepts the proposal. And she loves Dane. Colin is just a friend and nothing more than that. In this argument, she had forgotten entirely what Paige was referring to initially when she said Colin is a hero. Lauren asks her about it. If it were not for Colin's idea to split up and rescue people, they wouldn't have found Mr. Rodriguez, which could have proved detrimental. And also, it was Colin who carried the injured man out of his house after he was stuck there the entire night. Everyone who has lost their home is sleeping in the emergency shelter, including Colin and Lauren. Colin gets up in the middle of the night and goes outside. Lauren is also woken up by the rustling and sees Colin going outside. She follows him to the church and finds him sitting there, pondering. She sits next to him, and they start talking. She asks him why he chose the hardest hit areas to search. He replies that he should have thought it through. Lauren thinks it must have been exhausting compared to what she did. Colin immediately dismisses her, saying he saw well-fed children in clean clothes who looked happy, and he knew it was Lauren's doing. Lauren smiles at his compliment. He then asks Lauren about her fiancé. Lauren tells him that Dane is an architect. He is in Australia at the moment, working on a big project. Colin asks her if he is a good man. She says he is good to her. Sensing a but there, Colin asks her. Lauren feels that when one is supposed to marry someone they love, there has to be a gut feeling, probably because she doesn't feel it. She asks Colin if it is so. Colin affirms that is the case unless they are not the one for us. She rubs her arms as she feels cold. Not so much because of temperature, but the coldness of being with someone we are not sure about. Colin takes off his jacket and gives it to her. She suggests Colin run for the position of mayor. Colin jokes that it is because he was being chivalrous and gave her his jacket. Lauren laughs and explains her reason for saying so, because of how he corralled the search and rescue team, and how he helped Mr. Rodriguez. Colin is humble and tells her Joel saved Mr. Rodriguez, but Lauren knows he will never take any credit. She stresses that they need a good leader in the town, and she is not sure Nathan is the person for that, even though Colin thinks Nathan's heart is in the right place. Lauren requests him to give it a thought, but Colin has made up his mind. He thinks there are people who can run the town better than him. Lauren gets protective and asks who said that to him. She then asks him to send whoever said it to her, and she'll give them a piece of her mind. Colin laughs and teasingly asks her what she will say to them. Lauren thinks for a moment and says that in under 72 hours, a man saved her dog, helped scores of people, and offered to rebuild her family house even though he thought she hated him. He points out that she has rejected his proposal to help her, which she justifies by saying that intent matters. And she adds that the man offered her his lovely jacket because he thought she was cold. Colin tries to take away his jacket and pulls Lauren close in doing so. Realizing they are too close to each other, they pull away. Colin says Dane is a lucky man to have her. Neither of the two wants to accept their feelings for each other, so they act distant. They soon call it a night. They lie awake in their beds, contemplating things for a very long time until drowsiness takes over. In the morning, after freshening up, Lauren goes out looking for him and runs into Nathan. She asks Nathan if he has seen Colin, and Nathan replies that he has gone with the firefighters to check on the last few homes, and then he'll be heading up to one of the cleanup crews. Lauren proposes the idea of crowdfunding to Nathan. He thinks it is a good idea as the community needs help getting back on their feet, as the insurance money will not suffice to help them in doing so. Lauren agrees and adds that the homes to the west of the city were hit the hardest. Nathan gives a number of 22 houses that were completely damaged, including hers. Lauren offers to make it to 21 as she can manage her home on her own. She plans to click some pictures of the community to show the country what they're going through. Nathan thinks it is perfect, and they arrange a meeting for the next day. The network is back, so Lauren calls Dane to know when he is coming back so he can help too. He asks her to tell him a number, and he'll send her the cash. Lauren is dumbfounded at Dane's insensitivity. She says she doesn't want money but for him to be there with her. But getting no reply from him, Lauren disconnects the call in anger. She thinks of checking her home and drives to her place. She is shocked to see a whole team of builders and constructors working on her property. She asks the head of the team who sent them and soon finds out it was Dane. She asks them to get off her property and help build another destroyed house just across the road. But they refuse, saying they need to check in with their employer. She tries once again to convince them, and says to remove the crew from there and go to the place she described, because there are 5 children who need desperate help to build their home. The head agrees and asks his crew to withdraw. She thanks him and goes inside her house. Lauren is furious, and she calls Dane to demand to know why he sent the crew, when she specifically asked not to send anybody, because she wants to build her home herself. Dane gives the bland reply he always gives that he wants to support her. Lauren has had enough. She appreciates that Dane has treated her like gold, but one thing has become clear to her, that he has never treated her like an equal. Her feelings and thoughts have been second to his. Almost shouting now, for the first time, she expresses how she truly felt since she's been in a relationship with him. But he seems to never listen to her. Like the time she didn't want to go to London, she didn't want a new car, or she will never give up being a teacher. The catharsis makes her overwhelmed, and she has tears in her eyes. Finally, she says she cannot do this anymore and gives her answer to his proposal. She can't marry him, and she hangs up before Dane can say anything. Realizing what she has done, her hand automatically reaches for the ring Dane gave her, which she wears around her neck. She removes the chain as she doesn't want to carry this burden of expectations anymore. Without wasting any time, she starts assembling the broken things from her front yard. She carefully puts everything together in one place. No matter if it is broken or intact, she carefully handles them as they have sentimental value to them. In her attic, she goes down memory lane while going through her treasure box, which contains snippets of her childhood. She hangs the letters and photographs to dry them out. She is amazed at the antique things her grandparents have left behind. She also finds beautiful embroidered mesh cloth, which she uses as a cover for some old containers to act as a table, and puts the antique utensils on them. She is picking up the rubble when Colin comes, and is surprised to see the structure of the house complete. He asks her how she managed to do it so quickly. She explains it is not her doing. Dane had sent construction workers who had constructed it before she reached her home. She doesn't tell him she has ended her relationship with Dane, when Colin calls him fiancé Dane. He appreciates her for sending the crew members away and sticking to her decision of building her home herself. Since she has been saying this for quite some time now, it must be important for her. She looks at Colin with amazement as he is the last person she thought would understand. The person she expected to understand didn't care about her sentiments. He apologizes for last night as he was about to give in to his emotions and kiss her, but the good thing is it didn't happen. And he promises that it won't happen in the future. He then asks her what does she plans to do next with her house. She proudly announces that she is ready to recruit a strong young person to help her lift some heavy furniture. Colin helps her lift a few heavy pieces of furniture and places them where she envisioned them to be. She then opens one of the old trunks, which was her grandpa's old tool set, and the original plans for the house. After taking out some garbage, she sits on her porch. Colin follows and asks her if she is okay. She says she is fine after all, she has got a chance to remodel. Plus, this will give her an excuse to watch all the home renovating shows she wants. It is like she is answering her own question and assuring herself that she can do it, but the truth is she cannot. In the end, she admits although she wanted to do it herself, she can't. Colin assures her that it is okay to take some help. He then explains to her why he thinks Dane's crew did a good job. They left the entire foundation of the house and put up the perimeter wall so she could design the whole layout. He lays down the map blueprints of her home and starts suggesting how she can incorporate different things. She likes the ideas and says she'll start working on them tomorrow. It is time for her to hit the hay, quite literally, as she will be spending her night in the barn tonight. Colin seems a bit concerned about her staying in the barn alone. He asks her why she is not staying in the relief center. She playfully answers that a really nice guy helped her set her bed in there, and she would gladly embrace that, referring to Colin's participation in helping her set up her bedroom. However, there are no beds, to which they both laugh. Colin informs her he is going back to the relief camp tonight, and if she wants a ride, he can drop her there. She is curious to know why he is going back when he can go back to his home, which remains safe in the storm. Colin explains that he is going back to the refugee camp to see if anybody needs any help. He reminds her that her house has no running water or working washroom. It wouldn't be wise for her to stay in her house in such conditions. Lauren cannot help but laugh at Colin's attempt to bring her back to the relief center. How can she not agree to go with Colin? She gets ready and wears the jacket Colin has given her. Seeing that Colin jokes, he had a similar jacket once. At the relief camp, Lauren meets Nathan regarding their plan to raise funds to help people here. Nathan has written a heart-touching article, and Lauren has clicked some pictures to show the world the situations they are facing because of the hurricane. They hope it helps them raise enough funds to afford to provide for those who are worst hit. As Lauren's home takes shape, Colin's relationship with Lauren also takes a different shape. They are closer than ever and enjoy their time together. One day at lunch, Lauren asks Colin why he hasn't found a woman for himself. Colin explains that his dad cheated on his mother more than once and left his mom. Colin was the youngest of the 5 boys. He thinks his mom was worn out by the time he came around. She didn't have time or energy to supervise him, which made him unruly. Kids didn't like him very much and made fun of him. But his mom was with him in many different ways. After taking care of 5 boys, cooking dinner and cleaning the house, and going through letters from his teachers, she used to sit down and tutor him every night. And it worked. He started getting better grades. His mother never shared with them how she truly felt. One day at his brother's wedding, Colin was sitting with his mom, and she finally told him everything their dad had done and how badly he had hurt her. That night, Colin promised her that he would never be like his dad. But Lauren points out that he cannot spend his whole life pushing people away. But Colin doesn't phase. It has worked for him so far. Before Lauren can say anything more, Colin changes the topic. He directs her attention to the fact that much progress has been made on her house, and now bigger projects like electricity, plumbing, and roofing are coming up. So he asks for her permission if he can invite some friends who can help finish the house for her, and will get her into her home. Lauren agrees. The next day, Colin introduces Lauren to his friends Dev, Sean, and Cyro, who will be helping her with her house. Under her instructions, the 4 guys work hard to get things done. Another good news is that their fundraising campaign has started getting a ton of media coverage. Cyro observes how Colin and Lauren behave around each other. He senses some vibe, and finding Lauren alone, he goes to ask her about her and Colin. Lauren dismisses anything by saying they're friends. And she has a fiancé. Cyro tells her Colin likes her, and she likes him too. Lauren agrees she likes him but as a friend. Cyro recounts all those times that Lauren has liked Colin, which is essentially all this time, from childhood to the present, when he is helping her with her house. She reiterates she has a fiancé. After the major portions of the house are done, they bid goodbye to Dev, Sean, and Cyro. Lauren decides to spend the night in her barn because now she has running water, gas, and everything she needs. Colin will stay the night at his place. He offers that if she wants a place to crash, she is always welcome to his place. Lauren laughs. Colin continues that if she doesn't like it in the barn alone, she has a place to come. She says she is a big girl and can handle staying alone in the barn. They very gawkily try to establish their relationship as just friends. Colin comes back home and finds pizza left for him by his friends. The slice left is also bit into, so he tosses it back into the package. He cannot stop worrying about Lauren spending the night alone in the barn. No matter how much he wants to be with her right now, he cannot. Lauren cannot sleep either. She doesn't want to admit to herself that she still likes Colin just as the way she used to. She starts talking with Dancer and complains that Colin is not even that good looking. No matter how often Cyro catches her checking out Colin, it would not change the fact that he is not good looking. Also, she cannot help but enumerate what an amazing person he is but doesn't admit so. He saved families in their time of need. He helped her rebuild her house. After much contemplation, she concludes that the concept of just friends is a big farce, and she cannot carry on like this. She gets off her bed as Dancer whines as if cheering for her. Colin, in his home, has some similar thoughts and decides he needs to talk to Lauren. Lauren reaches Colin's home, but no one is home. Colin goes to Lauren's home but cannot find her anywhere. As he's calling out Lauren's name, his phone rings. It is Lauren. He smiles as he sees her name flash on the screen. Over the phone, Lauren asks why he isn't answering his door. Colin tells her he is at her place. Lauren is surprised and asks why he is there. He tells her he was worried about her, so he thought he'd come and check on her. Lauren also explains that she got scared and came to his place. But neither of them could express the true reason for being at each other's place in the hush of night. Colin suggests she sleep at his place since she is already there and he will stay at her house. They look at each other's things, their childhood photographs they had kept with them all these years. A smile floats on their face as they see those memories captured forever. Colin, however, reminds himself that Lauren is engaged, and he cannot do this to her. Colin tries fitting in Lauren's small bed and sleeping, when he hears a noise from outside and goes to check it out. Once out, he sees Dancer running around and Lauren walking towards him. He is happy to see her and asks what she is doing here at this hour. She replies she is here to talk to him. She starts by saying she really likes him and then apologizes for hating him all these years after that one day at the fair. She felt embarrassed and insecure and spent years trying to avoid Colin, thinking he was a horrible person that clearly he is not. Colin thinks otherwise. He considered himself a horrible person back then. Lauren assures him that he is not. He is the antithesis of that. He is smart, kind, and a leader, and the furniture in his house speaks the bounds of his talent as a carpenter. And he is one person who cares about what she has to say because he listens to her. And he cares about other people. All these qualities are rare to find in one person. And Lauren thinks he is that rare person. She confesses she likes him and adds that she thinks he likes her too. Colin feels it is wrong. He reminds her that she has a fiancé. He saw his pictures in her bedroom, and they look incredible together. He asserts that Lauren deserves him because Colin was awful to her. He regrets not having dealt differently back then. Lauren thinks he is pushing her away again as he did back then. Colin asks Lauren as if asking himself how he can stop himself from liking her. She is the best of all, the most beautiful woman in town. She dedicated her whole life to helping children. She is intelligent, talented, and an absolute boss with the nail gun. Colin repeats she deserves the best, and that is not him because he still doesn't consider himself worthy of her. She tells him she broke up with Dane on the day he sent the crew over to fix her house, when she had asked him not to. Colin asks her the reason. Lauren explains she went with her gut. Dane never listened to her, and she felt he didn't care about her wishes at all. Colin asks her why she didn't say anything sooner. Lauren was tired of relationships, but then she met him again, and all her anger dissolved after seeing what an incredible guy he is. And she couldn't help falling for him. She inches toward Colin, and tucking on the edge of his jacket, Lauren confesses she is falling in love with him. Colin leans in a little but suddenly pulls away and says he thought he could do this, but he can't, and walks away, leaving her just like he did years ago when she first confessed to him. She just stands there staring into space as Colin gets into his car and drives off. Once again, he has broken her heart and couldn't bring himself to face her after that. Their friends try to talk to them in no vain. Colin cannot concentrate on his work and keeps thinking about Lauren. They both feel restless. Nevertheless, they keep going with their daily chores. One day he sees Dancer sitting at his front door. Thinking Lauren is here, he looks around and calls for her, but nobody answers. He thinks Dancer must have run off again. He calls Lauren and asks if he can drop Dancer off at her place. Lauren wants to keep her distance this time, so she asks him to take Dancer to Paige's house. Instant guilt flashes on Colin's face. He knows he has hurt her again, and he respects her decision if she doesn't want to see him again. He wants to get the burden off his chest by apologizing. But Lauren is not ready to listen, and with a thank you, she hangs up. Colin drops Dancer off at Paige's and asks her to tell Lauren to get a dog leash. The next day, Dancer is at Colin's house again, and he takes it back to Paige's house. For the next few days, Dancer keeps coming to Colin's house as if to call him back into their lives, but Colin keeps driving it back to Paige's house. He also brings a dog leash for Dancer and hands it to Paige to give it to Lauren. The next day when he hears someone at the door, Colin comes out saying he doesn't have time for this, thinking it is Dancer again. But this time, it is Cyro. He wants to talk to Colin, so they both sit on his porch. Cyro starts by saying that despite being a smart guy, Colin can be pretty dumb sometimes. Colin agrees, saying it is his family tradition. Cyro tries to make him understand that he cannot keep blaming his dad for everything. He is nothing like him. Cyro coaxes him to talk to Lauren and tell her how he feels. Colin tells Cyro Lauren doesn't want to talk to him, which is understandable considering he has left her stranded whenever she tried to share her feelings with him. Cyro asks him not to lose hope because they still have her house to build. But Colin is not sure. Suddenly his brother Sutter comes there and asks Colin to keep his mouth shut till he is done talking. Cyro knew Colin needed his family to speak to him, so he called Sutter and told him everything. Sutter takes Colin inside the house to talk. Since they came back from Georgia when Colin was a teenager, and since then, there has just been one woman in his life, Lauren. It seems that Lauren is not the only one who has liked him since she can remember. The problem with Colin is he thinks he is not good enough for her, and he needs to stop comparing himself with their dad because he is different. He is a good man and always has been. He asks Colin to start talking and asks about Lauren. Colin confesses he cannot stop thinking about her and just wants to be with her. He feels proud when she achieves something on her own, and the smile on her face brightens his day. While he is at it, he also mentions she snores like a grizzly bear and could wake up the dead with that snore. The brothers laugh. But the truth stands, Colin can't stop thinking about her. Sutter encourages him to see her. She is here in the town teaching a bunch of third graders, and there is a man on his way to take her away from him forever. He can't let that happen. And above all, he can't let their dad's behavior stop him from being with her forever. And deep down, Colin knows he is a good man who will never hurt Lauren. Colin shows Sutter a box he made for Lauren and heads to her place. He doesn't want to lose any more time than he already has. Cyro and Sutter are happy Colin is finally following his heart and going to tell the love of his life how he feels. Lauren is leaving school when she sees Dane there. She asks him what he is doing there. He asks for a chance to make things right between them. He apologizes for not listening to her and sending the crew to build her house against her wishes, and for all the other things he has done without asking whether she likes it or not. He confesses that is his way of taking care of her, and she adds it took him this long to get back because he chose his job over her. Dane wants to work things out between them, and now he is here. Lauren is not convinced. She says it is so much more than just not listening that she decided to separate from him. After the storm hit, she realized what was important to her, which is not the same as him. Dane, almost in tears, says he loves her, and she loved him too, but their lives are polar opposites. He belongs to big cities and condos, but she belongs here with little kids and home renovating shows. Dane offers he can shift here with her and buy a home, and together they can design it. She tells him she already has a home here which she built herself. She returns his ring and apologizes. Dane apologizes too, and she hugs him goodbye. She stands in the corridor even after Dane's long gone. As the bell rings, she hears someone call her name. It is Colin. He comes running towards her and apologizes for pushing her away 5 years ago and doing the same now. He tells her he has always liked her since their childhood, and she is the most amazing woman he has ever met. She makes him want to be a better person, and he wants to spend the rest of his life with her. He tells her he has made something for her. He goes down on one of his knees and asks Lauren to marry him. Without any hesitation, she says yes. He has made the ring himself, and Lauren is touched by his gesture. Everybody in the corridor starts clapping as they share their first kiss. Colin asks Paige to take their picture and sends it to the men who made it happen. Sutter and Corey are thrilled to see Colin finally follow his heart. At that time, Nathan comes and hugs Lauren. He doesn't know about the engagement, but when he does, he congratulates them. But the reason he hugged Lauren was to tell her their fundraising program was a success, and they raised more than enough for everybody in the town. There is more reason to be happy, and the children start cheering. In the end, Colin and Lauren get married, and they move into the home they built themselves, their forever home.